Hello, everyone. All right, so this is specifically for my peeps that have said to me, Dakisha, I want to do webinars, but I'm not sure of where to start. So, over the next few minutes, I'm going to specifically share with you the three key things that you need to understand before you are ready to host your first webinar, masterclass, bootcamp, whatever name that you want to give it. Okay. So, for those of you all that don't know who I am, my name is Dakisha Williams. I am a webinar strategist and I empower entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches, and authors on how to create consistent revenue and generate leads consistently using webinars or online training, virtual trainings, right? So, some people call them masterclass, some people call them webinars, boot camps. I'm really not pressed on what name that you give them, as long as you understand that you're doing a virtual training, right? So that leads me directly into the training that I want to share with you today. So a lot of people have been saying, well, I want to do webinars, but I really don't know where to get started or how to get started. Well, let me say this, and I want you to take notes. I want you to jot the notes down as we are going through this or as you're watching this actual training. So number one, I need you to start with the end in mind, okay? And when I say that, I want you to think about what is the end goal that you really want to see by hosting a live training, live webinar, or masterclass, all right? So when I say what is the end goal, do you actually need to generate more leads in your business? Is that what you see for your business? Are you using the webinar to build your email database? Because webinars are one of the number one ways to build your email database. All right. Or are you looking to enroll more people into your signature course? Like, we have a lot of course creators that are like, well, I need more enrollment. I need more people enrolled into my signature course. Cool. Perfect. We just need to know going in that is your end game. And there's also some people that are in our space, in our circle, in my tribe, that they may not necessarily have a course, but they might have a high ticket program. They might have a coaching program. They might have a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 program, and they want to see more sales into that program. So boom, awesome. That's number one. We just need to know, tell me, Dakisha, this is what I want to see from hosting webinars in my business. Boom. Once we understand that, then we can move to number two. Are you ready? Number two is for you to understand who you're targeting. Like, you have to understand, who are you going to be speaking to when you deliver this content? And the reason that this becomes important is because this is a piece that can actually trip you up. You do all the work creating the presentation and things like that, but then your messaging is all wrong. All wrong. So you have to really narrow it down as to who the webinar is going to be for. Okay. So specifically, like, I want you to think about this as you're going through. If you are a coach, who do you work with? I work with female entrepreneurs. Actually, I work with female entrepreneurs who still have a 9-to-5. That is the majority of my clients. Like, I know that. I get that. That does not mean that I can't work with men. That does not mean that I can't work with full-time entrepreneurs. I just know who my messaging attracts based on how I tell my story and based on my brand. So a lot of people know me as having 2 children who are heavily engaged into athletics and sports. So they know that I have to create a system where I can make money from the #sideline. They know that. That is the reason that webinars became my go-to vehicle of how I was able to build my business. When I started my company 12 years ago, I wasn't in a position where I could be a keynote speaker and flying every month or every week to go do keynote here and keynote here. That wasn't the business model for me because I wanted to be home and available and present for my children. All right. But I digress. So webinars became my choice. So I know now when I am speaking to female entrepreneurs who still have a full-time job, who want to build their business without having to leave their job. Or I know I work with entrepreneurs who have children, who have families, who want to be able to spend more time to be present with their families, but they also want to make money simultaneously, right? Somebody type in the chat simultaneously, right? Or you can type make money, because I know simultaneous is like a big word. It's like a long word. You be trying to spell IMAN. I'm not going to mess with you right now. All right, so number 3, as we wrap this up, once you determine what your end goal is going to be, once you determine, number 2, who you're speaking to, so let me say this too. When you determine your audience, you have to determine what their problem is that you solve. So if you need help with any of this, I invite you to become a part of our monthly Webinar Success Tribe membership. The link is above. We do meet every Tuesday simultaneously. Thank you. We do meet every Tuesday, and it's less than $5 a month. But I say that because some people may say, Dakisha, I need help, really determining like what's the end goal for me, or I need help determining who is my audience. I need help determining, how I market to them. Okay. So that's fine. But with that being said, so number 3, so that you can understand how to get started using webinars in your business, is determine your core offer. What are you going to offer to the people who raise their hand and say, I want to work with you, and you. Right? Do you currently have an offer already available? Type it in the chat. Yes, I have an offer. Do you currently have an offer already in your company? Like, do you know what you want to offer? Do you have a coaching program? Do you have a course, a 6-week course, a 12-week course? Do you have a mastermind, an intensive, a retreat? Like all these things. You can all sell, even if you're having an event. Somebody hit me up the other day and was like, I got an event coming up. I want to use webinars to promote the event. Perfect. I'm telling you, one of the best ways to actually sell before the event and after the event. We'll talk about that in the tribe. All right. So let me recap real quick and post any questions that you have. And then I'll also share with you how you can get started in our monthly tribe membership. All right. So number 1, start with the end in mind. What is going to be the goal of your webinar? Because someone had asked me, whether or not they should charge on that. That's another video. I'll do another video. So start with the end in mind. Are you looking for sales? Are you looking for leads? Right? Number 2, determine who your audience is. What keeps them up at night? What are they struggling with? All right. Number 3, what are you going to offer them? Based on the problems that they have, do you have the solution that solves their problem? Come on, somebody. Do you have the solution that solves their problem? All right. So with that being said, that should help you understand what exactly needs to be in place before you even think about, putting together a webinar. And if you already have that, put together, or if you need help putting it together. So we have the Webinar Success Tribe. We meet monthly. We meet every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They get access to over 100 training videos that I've taught over the last 8 years about using webinars in your business. It talks about setting up the webinars, the technology of webinars, how to monetize webinars, how to master your message on webinars, how to promote your webinars. We talk about 12 to 25 different ways of marketing your webinar. So if you click the link, you can go to the page and get more information about becoming a part of the Webinar Success Tribe. Listen, it's less than $5 a day. And when I really narrowed down my actual webinar strategy, I made $10,000 from my first launch. We turned around and we did it again. We polished some things, and I'll show you how to do this. We did a $24,000 launch. I did it again, and we did $34,000. So we did close to like $70,000 in a matter of 7 months. And so if you look at some of the clients that I work with, Rob YB Youngblood, he actually listened to one. He actually came through a challenge And he actually came through a oh man, he came through a live broadcast that I did as well. And in that live broadcast, he shared with me, he literally did the live broadcast. He went and tweaked some of the strategies that I gave him. He had 100 registrations, 41 participants, 11 calls, and he closed 2 already. That's a 41% show rate. Your average show rate is 20 to 30%. He had a 5% closing rate on his webinar, and he had 11 more calls to go. So I'm going to end with, the system works if you work it. My name is Dakisha Williams, your webinar strategist. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys next time.